going on, guys? Before I get into this, just wanted to say I noticed we had a couple new subscribers, which is fucking awesome. I'm out here at, I really have no fucking idea, right down the road from my house. It's right over there. My house for the next couple days. We are moving out to another house, a nicer house, but this video I wanted to go over this beautiful hunk of metal right here and my completely destroyed tail, which is the reason I actually bought this. So this is a Sick Innovations scrape bar, 12 bar, round bar, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I went with a round bar. I really wanted to go with the On Point triangle bar, but the On Point triangle bar only worked with the On Point subframe as far as I could tell, and the On Point subframe was like $600 or something. And if I bought the subframe so I could buy the triangle bar, I would have also basically had to buy the subframe with it too, or sub cage with it too, because it didn't look like I would have been able to mount this sub cage onto that subframe. So I had to buy theirs too, and all that together would have been like damn near $1,000, which is like not even what I'm looking to spend for a new cage and sub cage eventually. But that was just kind of insane. So I was gonna buy the A-Town because it came with the subframe and the round bar together, but it wasn't a scrape bar, it was just a bar, and I did want to have the scrape, the titanium plate on there, just so I wasn't tearing through a fucking bar that was gonna eventually go out for me wrecking it so much. And then just a LED strip. This is actually an adhesive strip, but I don't want to use the adhesive yet because I'm gonna get a second one, and they're gonna go under here on both sides, which I think will look really cool, and it will work really good because I kind of want to get rid of all this shit. But I want to go over how I installed this thing. Now I don't have my plastics off, as you can see, because it was kind of a pain in the ass to get them off, and I just really didn't feel like doing it at the shop today because I got to get home and pack up all my shit tonight because I'm moving out this weekend. But yeah, so basically I made the mistake of thinking that there was already holes drilled in the subframe for whatever reason for this that it just mounted into, and that is not true. So you do have to drill your own holes in the subframe, which isn't hard, it's just aluminum. You just have to make sure you set it up right so it's straight. I got it pretty straight. I'm not perfect, so I mean, what shit happens. So basically what you got to do is all this plastic in here. Wow, I can't even, sorry. This plastic in here, this used to have like the two spiky parts right here that connected in with this and basically just filled up the space. And it had other uses, like holding in a taillight. And this, you do have to take out that taillight. That's why I have this in here. You do have to take out the taillight because this would sit right on top of the stock taillight. The stock taillight ended like back in there, and you couldn't get this thing in there with that stock taillight. You might have been able to do it if you did a little bit of just moving it around with a little bit of blunt force, but I didn't feel like doing that, and I already had this. So I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna take it out. And then I cut all this shit apart, and then down in here, you'll see there's these little like rounded openings in the actual in the angle iron that is used to make this. Those go around around your rear seat support bar in there, whatever the fuck it's called. I have no idea, but that's where those go. And I had to do a little bit of cutting down in there to this plastic to get it to go in there all the way, and actually sit in there so I could get both sides even. I just kind of trimmed it out with a cutoff wheel. The only thing you really have to look out for is, one, your wiring over here. Be very careful of that. You really don't want to have to fucking rewire the whole thing, or maybe you do, I don't know. I hate wiring. And then your little cable for your rear seat, which mine's kind of fucked up right now and it's broken and not attached, so I'll get my seat off somehow at some point, but whenever I get new shit, but whatever. And then basically you take a couple of like C-clamps or vice grips, I used those big oval square looking fucking vice grips and clamped it down, and then just made sure it was even on both sides. I took a couple measurements. It's really not that difficult. And then you can kind of see in here where my bolts come in. There's one down there, and there's one right there. But these two go kind of under here. You can't even see, I'm sorry. But it goes through your plastic undertail here. And you kind of got to be careful, or you'll do what I did, where you have to cut a hole in the top on one side. And that's how I can tell mine's a little bit off, is I didn't have to cut a hole in the top like that on this side over here. The bolt just fit. But you just have to drill those holes. So you clamp all this up, make sure it's straight. Take a paint pen or a silver Sharpie or something, stick it through there and mark it out. Then take your drill bit, and you can center punch them if you want. I've never really found a need to center punch them with aluminum, because it just kind of burns right through. You don't really got to worry about it. And we had really good drill bits that were just brand new and oh my god, brand new and sharp as living shit. So it just tore right through there. And then you just got to make sure you're going in straight, because you are going through hollow square tubing. So you don't want your bolt to be kind of down at a weird angle. One of mine is at a little bit of a weird angle somewhere, but it wasn't a big enough deal for me to have to, you know, say fuck it and weld up the hole and then re-weld it or re-drill it. But it's really not that difficult. It's just drilling a couple holes and cutting some plastic. Eventually I just want to take a cutoff wheel and slice all this shit out right here, because I think it looks like hell. And then just doing some like fiberglass work where it just comes right up and meets in here some. And I'm getting a new tail plastic, because this looks like hell. So that's gonna be one of my next purchases. And my absolutely positively next purchase is gonna be fucking Cox clip-ons, because I'm starting to absolutely hate these. Because last time I was out at the lot, I rode a guy's 636, and he had the Cox clip-ons, and I love just not having them at this angle and this low. I want to have them further up here, like up there. That's definitely gonna be my absolute next purchase. I did have to rerun my ground wire for my headlight, because the old ground wire kind of fucked up. So I just ran one from down there and then grounded off my radiator. That's another thing I'm getting: a radiator fan and a radiator cage, radiator support. I'll probably need another radiator here pretty soon, because mine's kind of starting to stretch out. You can see like down there it's got a dent in it from whatever, and then up there it's kind of starting to stretch from all the weight from going down from wheelies, which I'm sure it was like that before. And then I'm gonna be getting black header wrap at some point. God damn, I need to tighten that bolt. But yeah, black header wrap. That's gonna be done whenever I pull all that shit out and reseal my oil pan. I'm gonna rewrap the headers, change the oil, and reseal the oil pan with some silicone. But that's basically what I'm gonna do, and that's how you install your scrape bar. It's not rocket science. It's just drilling a couple holes and making sure shit's straight. That's basically what I did for a living for a year, so it's not rocket science. And then, I mean, these, I'm gonna do something fun with these. It'll be cool. So yeah, that's basically my day. I did have a little bit of an experience this morning, which I will also post up, where I got very cut off by some really bitchy old woman who just laughed at me, and I was very pissed off about that. I should have smacked her mirror, but I didn't. Yep, so that's gonna be the video on how to install a scrape bar on a 2002 Honda F4i, or I guess it kind of is the same for any bike you do it on, I assume, but that's how you do it on an F4i. So thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment, do whatever the fuck you want. I will try to respond to anybody who comments. I know one of the last guys that commented took me a week to reply, but I will reply. I like talking to people, so yep. Peace out, guys. Scrape bar.